Hey guys, Pre-Market9s here, and today we are finally talking about the Ultra Wormholes, the shiny odds of them, and what it means for shiny hunting and the future of shiny hunting. If you don't know what the Ultra Wormhole is, either you haven't beaten the game yourself yet, or you haven't been on the internet for the past month. Basically, it's a new shiny hunting method in only Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where you ride Solgaleo and Lunala into the Ultra Wormhole and into other Ultra Wormholes. You find shiny Pokemon quick. Okay, now that everybody is up to speed, we can actually talk about this. Now, this is a kind of controversial topic because I don't know if you guys noticed, but every time I see people talking about it on Twitter, they are just fighting with one another instead of actually having a real conversation. So I knew I wanted to make a video on it, but I also wanted to wait until I tried it out for myself because one, I didn't want it to seem like I was doing the video for views, which is why I'm doing it now 2 weeks later instead of right when the games came out. And then two, I wanted to experience it and try it for myself before I based my thoughts on what other people decided to say about it, or basically what they made up about it, because no hate here, but a lot of people are throwing out numbers and percentages of the shinies, and for real, they're based on next to nothing. I'm gonna get this out of the way now. I am a full odds hunter. I don't use methods for shiny hunting, and this new wormhole method is exactly that. It's a method. If you didn't know, full odds shiny hunting is just someone that doesn't use the shiny charm, doesn't use methods for hunting, no fish chaining, no wormholes, nothing like that, no Poke Radar. They just run around and look for shinies until they appear. They base it solely on when the game decides to give them one. I'm not gonna go too far into it because I've already done an entire video on it, but basically, it's an adrenaline rush and it's all based on luck, so that's super fun for people like me. So it's not really something that appeals to me per se, but at the same time, I'm not one of the people that is gonna say that it's ruining shiny hunting, because I don't believe that either. I feel like I'm a very fair middle ground, and that's basically why I want to make this video. Firstly, I think it's really important to point out Gamefreak's position on this because so many people are getting mad at them, and I think that that is completely ridiculous. Here's the thing, guys. Gamefreak is not a stupid company. They're brilliant. They've built this amazing franchise, and they know what they're doing, and they know what works. And right now, shiny hunting is growing in popularity when it comes to streaming, posting content. That's one of the major things. They're not blind. They see that. I honestly believe that they built this wormhole method around the idea that people are going to stream it. It makes so much sense. There are so many aspects to this thing. It's not just throwing a fishing rod in and hoping you get lucky anymore. One, just going the distance, seeing how far you can get in light years. That's really fun and really easy to compete with someone with. Two, you could be shiny hunting. That's what most people are using it for, and the shinies are popping up left and right. So when you are finding shinies, that's really exciting. And when you're not, you're also doing the distance thing and seeing how far you can go. Another thing is there are so many colors of wormholes, types of wormholes, and the rings around them change too. So there are just a lot of different things getting thrown at you, which is visually pleasing. Like, it's aesthetic. They're doing it on purpose. It's not an accident. And I can see where some of you are coming from, where you're worried that they're just going to continue to do this because shiny hunting is becoming so prevalent in these games. But you also have to remember, they're not forcing it onto anybody. These are always methods. They're always outside. Sure, they did cut the odds in half, but I don't see them doing that again. And now they've got the shiny charm. So if you don't want that and you want to do it full odds, they still give you that option. And I think that that is a crowdsource. They're crowdsourcing both sides, and you can't blame them for that at all. I wanted to give myself a little bit of credibility, so I'm going to tell you guys all of the wormhole shinies that I have because people have been asking anyway, so I might as well say it. I've been going for Ultra Beasts and Legendaries and Ultra Wormholes, so it takes a minute to actually find the one that you're trying to target. And just by doing that, just by looking for my targets, I have stumbled upon like 15 random shinies. Not wanted, not hunted, just random. For those that want it, here's the list. I've got 2 Barbaricles, 2 Quagsire, 2 Audino, 1 Yanmega, a Crustle, 2 Abomasnow, a Nuzleaf, Drapion, Medicham, Stunfisk, and Heliolisk. Now that right there alone should tell you enough about the wormhole method that maybe it's for you if you really like finding shinies super fast, and if you like to actually work for them and run around and let luck be a lady, then maybe it's not for you. And stemming from that, one of the main opposing views of it is that it's devaluing shinies. It's taking things that we work hard for and then making it so easy that when you find it, you don't care as much. And that's true. I can agree with that, but devaluing is all based on a personal opinion. So somebody might cherish their first wormhole shiny. Maybe they've never shiny hunted in their life before, and they didn't even know that the odds were raised. They're gonna encounter this thing, and they're gonna love it to death. Basically, that argument is very personal, and maybe that's how it is for you, but for a good majority, it's not gonna be that way. So right there, debunked. Contrary to that though, one thing that does worry me is that because they're not so rare anymore, because they're so easy to come by, when people find shinies now, most of the time they're upset that it's not the one they were looking for, instead of just being excited that they found a shiny, and it's like, oh, I can't believe the hunt's over, which is how it's always been for me and plenty of other people that have been doing it for as long as I have. Now it's kind of like, oh, I really wanted Abomasnow, and even if they get Abomasnow, they're like, oh, it's the wrong nature. And for me, I find that really sad. But then again, full odds hunters have done the same thing to full odds shiny. I know plenty of people that get upset when they find the wrong thing. So again, it's really just another personal thing. It's about how you react to it and how you value it. So once again, debunked. Another argument against it is that they're forcing it on us, because in order to hunt the legendaries of the Ultra Beasts that are now finally huntable in these games, we have to endure the wormhole method and possibly find shinies like I did. And to an extent, that's true also, but no one's forcing you to encounter the Pokemon and no one's forcing you to catch them. You'd be surprised at how strong some of the beliefs of these hunters are. As soon as they find a method shiny on their game, it's game over. They don't want it tainting their decks. Their game is now ruined. They have to reset the file, throw it out, ship it to Japan, buy a new one. Like, oh my gosh, it gets pretty insane. And I'm allowed to talk about it because I used to be like that, but now I'm kind of just like, you know, whatever. I'll just use it for my team. It's basically like using a regular Pokemon. If you don't want to count it as a shiny, then don't count it as one. If it's really that big of a deal for you, soft reset. Don't go into them. It's also important to remember that this is only a select amount of Pokemon. There's about 20 that are in the Ultra Wormhole Wild Encounters, and that's it. So if you feel like it's devaluing shinies, maybe it's gonna devalue these 20 for you. But unless you're doing videos for views or shiny hunting strictly for views and appeal to other people, then it shouldn't matter to you that much, because you can still hunt them other ways. I do agree that Pokemon like Yanmega, Abomasnow, Heliolisk, they were very hard to get before, and so now basically everybody has them. So I can understand where you're coming from to that extent, but it really shouldn't matter what other people are doing. Like, do you and they'll do that. But that being said, if they do continue to add methods like this in future games, then it does get a little scary, because basically it's going to be 20 more new Pokemon, and who's to say the next game won't be 20 more new Pokemon. So it does snowball a little bit. So like I said, I have a fair middle ground. I can see the point of view from each, but right now I don't feel like it's broken enough to like make us cry. So if you're in tears, like, I don't know, suck it up. Honestly, I'm gonna say this right now, we have no number on what the shiny odds are in here or if the light years actually matter. I'm fairly certain it does, and I also am fairly certain that the type of rings that you go into for the wormhole also plays a fair effect on it. But as of right now, there is no stated fact, and so many people are saying, oh, it matters how far you go. Oh, it just matters if it's got 2 rings around it. Go into the first one you see. As of me recording this video, we don't know. So if anybody has a set percentage, I've seen 7% get thrown around like it's nothing. That is maybe based on their own personal research, but until we found about 1,000 shinies in these wormholes, kept the data on every single one, known how many encounters, and drew out ourselves a bell curve, which I haven't done, I don't think you have either, then it's not a fact. And we're not 100% sure on what Pokemon are affected. It's definitely for sure the Ultra Wormhole Wild Encounters, they're definitely affected, but the Ultra Beasts and the Legendaries are said to not be affected. They should be full odds, but as of right now, we don't know for sure. I've done my fair share and I've gotten them really fast, and I've seen people tweet me saying they're at 13,000. So it's up in the air. It seems like full odds to me, but take that with a grain of salt, because I'm not speaking from data mined information. At the end of the day, it really comes down to your own personal opinion. There's always gonna be the one person that's telling you, oh, it's worth nothing, you should just release it. And then there's the other person that's telling you, like, put that in your team, use it because it's amazing. I can't believe that you freaking got that. So you really have to decide for yourself and build your own thoughts and opinions and not base it on what other people are saying. And if you really can't accept that, just think of it as arcade shiny hunting, or the gateway of shiny hunting. This is getting so many more people involved in shiny hunting, and the whole point of it is having a community. It's not about the views, it's not about the subscribers, it's not about doing what people want to watch or doing what other people think is cool. It's about building a community, finding people that like doing the same things as you, and having friends. I know that views are important to people, but when that becomes the most important thing, that's when it becomes an issue, and that's when it becomes a controversial topic. And I really want to make sure that you understand that I'm not saying that everybody against it is only against it because they're not getting views on their videos, because there are people that don't make videos that are against it as well. But what I am saying is, if you are against it, then just don't do it, because what other people are doing shouldn't affect you so much. Gamefreak is gonna make these changes regardless, because they've decided to implement shiny hunting as now a more prevalent part of these games. And for real, that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. Moral of the story is, shiny hunting is never a bad thing. Do what you want, let others do what they want, and if you want to have a real conversation about it, then have a conversation, but don't go after people just because they like something that you don't. And I know it really seems like I'm beating up the people that are solely against it, but this really works both ways. If you love it and other people don't like it, that doesn't make them bad people just because they don't agree with you. It just makes them people. They have opinions. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this edition of my videos. I hope you enjoyed this little shiny hunting rant. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you have other topics that you want to see me talk about and give my opinion on, leave those in the comments below. I hope that this video video kind of helped some of you out if you were confused on this topic. If you're still confused, then feel free to start a discussion in the comments below. I do want people to get talking about it. If we don't end this argument, I'd like to at least push it in the right direction, because right now I feel like it's going nowhere. More shiny related videos are coming very soon. More dress up shinies are coming very soon. But until next time, this is Supreme Arcanine signing out. See you guys later.